Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural launch of the Dragon Tooth Tavern and the Dungeon Brawlers. I am presenting you today with a wonderful group of players and a game that I hope will thrill and excite you at home. I'd like to take this moment to introduce myself. My name is Jeremy DMing. I have been a dungeon master for 30 plus years now, and this is a passion of mine, and I'm welcome you along on this journey. Now, I would like to go around the table and have everyone introduce themselves and the character that they are playing for tonight. Russ, we'll start with you then.
Alrighty. Hello, my name is Dream, and I'm playing Rust, a dwarven paladin.
Kiri, how about you go next?
Hello, I am Yuki. I am playing Kiri, a Mark of the Shadow elf druid.
All right, Phelan, you're up.
Hi, I'm Ericus. I'll be playing Phelan, a level 3 warlock paladin with a heart of gold.
All right, Sage, you're next.
Hi, I'm Wombat, and I am playing Sage, an elf ranger slash sorcerer.
All right, now Leia, you're next.
Hi, I'm Hildy. I am playing Laya, a level 3 Genasi Bard of Valor.
Righty, excellent. All right, so we'll start off today's adventure. You guys are all in the kingdom of Valstag. The kingdom of Volstagg is in its prime, flourishing under the rule of King Valric, bolstered by the guidance of Ilanis Darkmoon, the kingdom's most powerful mage. The land is peaceful, its borders protected by mighty warriors, and the people thrive. Yet, despite this prosperity, there are strange rumors beginning to circulate. The whispers speak of an ancient evil stirring beneath the earth, of dark omens, and of people going missing in the wilds. In the royal court, King Valric grows anxious. Though he is unaware of the exact cause, his advisors, including Elanus, have sensed a shift in the balance of magic across the kingdom. A quiet unease lingers among the people. There are whispers of an ancient curse, an evil that was sealed away long ago but is now beginning to stir. Caius, the worm that walks, an ancient necromancer who sought to rule the world through worms and the undead, is rumored to be returning. All five of you, being at the beginning of your adventuring careers, have received a royal summons to the court of King Valric. Upon arriving at the court itself, you are blown away by the immense size of the capital city in Volstagg. Coming from much of the rural and country areas of the kingdom, seeing such a metropolis is truly an amazing sight. You travel through various districts in the city prosper. You've traveled through a merchant district. You travel through a residential district. And you actually come across one of the prize and joys of Volstagg itself. You come to the port. Many ships are docked at the ports with contraptions on the piers, large devices towering above the ships that have arms that extend out over the ship's bows. And at the tip of said arm is a platform suspended by ropes. At the base of the towering structure is a massive wheel. People get into the wheel and begin to spin them. And as the wheels spin, the platform at the ends of the arm, suspended by the ropes, lowers onto various ships. And then after a while, the person that's in the wheel turns around and reverses course within the wheel, and the platform rises up. The ropes are straining under the weight as the platform has now been filled with various crates of goods and supplies. And as the arm swings over, they lower that platform back on the dock. And people, dock workmen, and things like that begin to unload the supplies from all the various ships. It's a marvel in engineering. The main road you're traveling down, heading in a northerly direction, leads directly to the castle proper. The castle itself is guarded with uh, many soldiers that patrol the area, and it has a fortification, a massive wall that surrounds the main castle, easily 15 to 20 feet in height. And you can see up on the parapet, even from your distance down by the docks, the various soldiers patrolling the parapet itself. As you approach this defensive wall, the main portcullis has been lifted open. Two guards on either side uh, make sure that they are observing those who come and go in and out of the castle. Mainly it's official dignitaries and people of importance within the government itself. As the five of you begin to approach and pass under, the guards pay you very little heed. Passing through the underneath the portcullis and through the opened doorway, you can see that the wall itself is easily 12 to 15 feet in thickness, surely strong enough to be able to repel any bombardment by a catapult or other siege weapons. The courtyard of the castle proper is quiet. You can see some guards here and there on the castle grounds. Most are out on patrol or up guarding the parapet. On the western side of the courtyard, you can see a stable where several horses are tied to, oh gosh, what are those called? Tied to stakes. We'll just do it that way. Tied to stakes. So you can see several horses there. Another thing that kind of catches your eye is that the outer perimeter wall does have a couple towers, mainly for archers to be able to rain down the pain against anyone who would dare attack the castle proper. But one tower in particular on the west side really catches your eye. In stark contrast of the white limestone that the wall is made out of, this one is jet black. Black as night. From ground to the top of the pointed roof. You can see a couple windows spread throughout. And down near the base, you can see a single door. And on that door, emblazoned in a silver rune, is the shape of a dragon. The courtyard itself conveniently leads everyone to the main stairway leading up to the castle proper. A large stairway, roughly 12 feet in width and we'll say 10 feet in height, with a middle section that kind of levels off into like a dais and then continues on. Stretching out from the double doors of the castle on the stairway, the steps themselves, is a red carpet, conforming nicely to each step, greeting visitors. The double doors to the castle are open, and many dignitaries are coming and going in and out of the castle. As you walk up the steps, you feel an uneasiness within the people that are coming and going. A troublesome aura is about you. You have heard the rumors. You have heard rumors of farmers who in the morning go to feed their cattle out in the fields to find them slaughtered with no footprints, no trace of any attacker having come to take them. You hear rumors of cornfields being full and alive during the night, and then come morning, being completely dead. Some of the most disturbing rumors, though, are ones that you hope and pray are not true. You have heard rumors of the dead rising from their graves to terrorize local townsfolk as worm infested corpses. You've also heard rumors of people disappearing without a trace. As you reach the top of the stairway, you are looking in through the double doors of the castle into the main throne room. The mood is very, very quiet and still. As you enter the throne room, you can see the king sitting on his throne. His head is in his hands, as if a heavy weight is upon him. Standing next to him on his right, and a little bit behind the throne itself, is a figure clad in chainmail armor. She's got long black hair and piercing blue eyes. She leans against the throne, and in your mind, the lean is very familial, as if her relationship to the king is a little bit more than king and subject. And as always, on the king's right, standing next to him, is a figure draped in thick black wizard robes. He has a staff that he holds next to him, slightly taller than he is. The top of the staff is adorned with a red crystal orb. And sitting on top of that orb is a dragon with his wings spread in flight. The figure has the hood of the robes up. You can't quite make out his face, but he has long blonde hair that streams out of the robes. And as you enter and proceed to approach the throne, the king looks up, and his eyes light up as he sees the five of you approaching him. He stands and extends his hand out as if to say, there is no need for formalities, my friends. And he stands before you and he says, my friends, thank you for answering the summons. I had hoped there would be more adventurers brave enough to investigate these horrible, horrible rumors. I had hoped that there would be more. But I can see now that the true heroes, if you will, of Volstagg are here in this room right now. So, first off, I thank you for your service. But let's not dilly dally too long on formalities. You see, word has reached me that in the town of Ashenvale, on our northern border, strange things are happening. People have gone missing, crops have died, cattle has been slaughtered. I need a group of heroic people brave enough to challenge this unknown thing and investigate what exactly is going on. I would send the Royal Army myself, but right now, without any knowledge of what's going on, that seems a bit overkill. And I have my borders to protect. So I beseech you, brave adventurers, will you go to Ashenvale and investigate these horrible rumors and report back to me what you find?
Well, of course
Phelan
I
said,
will.
We will.
Excellent. You will have my thanks, and you'll be well rewarded for your troubles. And with that, the king returns to the throne and sits down. Then the black robed figure takes a step forward. He bows. He removes his hood, and you can see a very pale face, a face just distraught with worry, fine lines across his brow, pointed ears prick through the luscious blonde hair that streams across over his face. As you may know, my name is Elanus, advisor to the king and high wizard. I have some information to impart to you before you leave. Information that may be the difference between life and death. You see, as these things have been going on, I have been monitoring a fluctuation, if you will, within the realm of magic. Mana no longer flows like it used to. I sense something is draining this world of its magical energies. Something dark is trying to break its way through the veil. What this thing is, I have yet to discover. But please be careful, my friends. And with that, he reaches into the sleeve of his robe and he pulls out a small black sack. And he comes down the few steps from the dais of the throne and approaches all of you. And he holds out the sack and he says, "A few items in here that I was able to procure will help you on your journeys. Be safe." And with that, Elanus turns and goes back up the dais. Then the woman, standing behind the throne, leaning up against it with a familiar flare, steps around from the back of the throne and then approaches you. When she comes down the steps, she stops before you and gives you a very formal salute. And she says, "My name is Lisa, head of the royal guard here at the castle. I would like to thank you all for taking this quest." And she reaches in a belt pouch on her side and pulls out a rolled up parchment and hands it over. "A map of the local area. It'll show you where Ashenvale is at. Please hurry. We need answers more than anything, for we cannot act unless we know exactly what is going on." And then she gives you another salute and returns to her position just behind the throne. So, what would you like to do?
Well, Rust will like to head up to the dais and grab a hold of the sack and start to look what's in it. Aye, what do we got here?
Upon opening the sack, you see 3 vials of healing potions. You see 1 gem. And then finally, you see a small wand. If you would like, you can roll an arcana check to see if you can identify the gem or the wand.
I will do that.
I am happy to take my help. I am proficient in many things unknown and magic wise.
Well, then, I will sit there. I will pull them out of the sack and I'll turn around and I'll look and be like, what do you guys think this are? I know what the other ones are.
So, what
Well,
did
I
you
could
pull out
use
of the
one of
sack?
those.
What did you pull out of the sack? The wand or the crystal?
I'm pulling out the crystal.
All right. Go ahead and make a arcana check then.
That is a nat 20 for a 21.
With a +1. Good lord. All right. The crystal. The crystal, upon saying the command word Shirak, will light up. And it's as if the spell light had been cast. And you also know with with a nat 20 that to turn the light off, you must say Dulak. But each time doing that, it expends a charge. And there's only 3 charges on it. And then the crystal will turn to dust.
Ooh, I will store that in me bag. I look to the rest of the party and go, there's nothing else in here but this wand. I have no use for this. Does anyone have a use?
Not me.
Did I roll an arcana on the wand?
Go right ahead.
It's okay, thank you. That's a 6.
With
No,
a
it's a
plus one, you
1.
got
It's a 1.
it.
It is
It's a
made of
wand.
wood.
It's made of fine elm wood is what it's made out of. That's about all you can tell. You can sense there's
Nice.
magic there, but as far as being able to identify what type of magic, you do not know.
I don't believe I have used for this. Thank you.
Anyone else want to
Did
try
I
to take
see
the wand?
some?
I'll go
Did I
ahead and
see
roll
some
the
health
arcana.
potions in that pack?
Ah, yes, there was some health potions here.
3 in total. And
Ah,
then Kiri, were you the one that was interested in the wand?
Yes, I was interested in doing an Arcana check on it as well.
All right, go ahead and roll.
I did
Love
not
it.
do much better.
Well, the DC was only 10, so the wand itself is of limited use. It is a temporary wand of secrets with only 2 charges. And after the second charge is used up, the wand will also turn to dust.
If you don't mind, Rust, I will hold on to the wand.
sure. You can hold on to whatever you like. I'll hand over the wand to you, and I'll hand her the wand. To me, it's just wood. I don't need anything like that. I've got me trusty rapier.
Did I go up to Lisa, bow, make a formal introduction, whatever's appropriate, and get the map?
All right. When you open the scroll and you can look at the map, it is a full map of the kingdom. You
Mhm.
can see that the capital city of Volstagg is on the western coast, while Ashenvale, a small hamlet on the northern border, is more northeastern from your location, possibly several days' travel by foot or on horse.
I am not best with maps. My druid friend, would you perhaps get more use of this?
Yes, I'd be more than happy to run our maps.
And I will give it to Kiri.
Awesome. Awesome. So, you know where you must go. You know it will take several days. Is there anything else you would like to do in the city of Volstagg before you leave?
Does everybody have rations?
Aye, I've got some food. Who wanted the health potions?
I would take one.
I wouldn't mind taking one of those as well.
All right, I will hand one to each of you. Ladies first, though.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did any of my other fellow ladies would like one? I've got one left in the sack.
I I have rations and I do not need a potion of healing. Thank you, though. Perhaps keep it for yourself as a back. Back. I'm not sure what the word is you use here.
As a backup? Sure, I think I can hold on to it.
Backup. Thank you. I learn something new every day that I am here.
Now, the city itself is quite large, so if you do want to stop and get supplies before you head out, now would be the time.
Did we want to see if we could find some more health? It could be a long journey. Maybe a horse or two with a carriage and some water.
Is it possible to tell how long of a trip it would be?
According to the map, when you look at it, you estimate it would probably be around a 5 day travel, maybe 6 on foot, down to possibly 3 on horse.
Okay.
Well, I want horse and carriage might come in handy, but we won't be in any need of water. I have a magic item that will give us plenty of water when we need it.
I have
All right.
never
Should
been
we?
to this lovely city before, so I think I will absolutely follow your lead.
All right. Well, if you guys don't want to get anything in the city, then you are free to leave at any point in time you want to head off towards Ashenvale.
I would like to see the apothecary. Maybe we can get some more health. I can't see any of you dying on me now.
It seems like a solid plan. Let's do that.
Excellent. So, bowing your regards to the king, you leave the throne room. You pass through the gate again, just marveling at the massive size of the protective walls that surround the castle proper. And again, you find yourselves out by the docks. It's very busy. Ships are coming and going. Cargo is being moved and shuffled about. And the main road that leads down in a southerly direction from the docks and into the city proper is known as the King's Road. The King's Road, goes not just through Volstagg itself, but it is the main travel highway that goes out the southern exit of the city. The city itself has a total of two exits. It has an eastern exit and a southern exit. And the King's Road, as it exits out of the port area, leads right into the merchants area. And there it is a hustle and bustle. Uh, People are going from shops, and you hear street vendors shouting out their wares. In the center of the merchant quarter, you can see a massive forge in the center of the square. Artisans and blacksmiths do their work out in the open around the forge, crafting armor and weapons and various other things, like horseshoes and pitchforks and farm equipment for uh, the various farms scattered throughout the kingdom. As you begin to look around, trying to find the stores that you are looking for, you can see you can see a large building, 2 stories tall, with two bay windows on either side of the main door. A sign above the door dangles down a large curved ivory tooth with a sign underneath it that reads the Dragon's Tooth Tavern. You also can see a few buildings down another building, single story, only has one bay window and one single door on the left side, with a sign above the door. This one not dangling, this one actually carved into the wood right above the door. The symbol itself is a sewing thimble with a sewing needle leaning up against it. And the name underneath is Thimble's General Goods. You still haven't found an apothecary quite yet, and you're keeping your eyes open. And as you begin to cross an alleyway that's not far from Thimble's General's Goods, you see a dark alleyway. And as you peer down, you see a lone building near the back of this alleyway. It has a single sign that juts out from the building itself, that of a rose surrounded by thorned vines, with a placard underneath that says, "The Blackened Rose Apothecary." Going down the alleyway, you sense danger. This isn't a safe part of town, but the alleyway seems to be empty. You can see piles of trash here and there strewn about the alleyway, and it doesn't take you long before you get to the apothecary itself. It's got one large window, one door. It's only a single story. And as you begin to enter, you are blasted with such a repugnant smell almost almost of rotting flesh. And then you get a hint of, is that cinnamon? And then a scent of wild roses. The storeroom itself is very dimly lit. A few candles uh, that are in sconces along the walls very dimly light the room. You can see shelving filled with various and weird items, some of which you've never seen before. There is a single counter near the back of basically the showroom, if you will, with one lone proprietor. She is human. She stands roughly maybe 5'6" in height, with long brown hair that kind of curls at the tips. She's wearing a deep, dark purple robe and a matching wide brim pointed hat. And as you enter, she looks at you and she says, "Welcome, welcome, my friends. Is there anything I can help you find today?"
Ah, yes. I was wondering if you'd have any health potions, or if you have anything special.
Health potions. Well, we've got a couple of those in stock. Not that many. This year's crop of elderwood root was very uh, short on supply due to all these strange things going on throughout the kingdom. But I do have two in stock that are 10 gold apiece.
Russ starts fumbling for through his pockets, looking for his coin pouch, and goes, "Ah, I found it!" Sets down 10 gold pieces onto the counter and looks to anyone else. Goes, anyone else want to help chip in?
I will. Uh, Here, my small friend. Take 10 of my currency that you have for this place.
Thank you, y'all. And he reaches out, puts it on the
While
counter.
could I get any sort of read off this proprietor? Like, does she know what sort of I can't think of the word. Does she have any sense of what's going on other than weird stuff?
From the proprietor of the shop, or are you trying to get a read on Rust?
The proprietor of the shop.
All right, let's go ahead and roll an insight check then, please.
Okay, I can do that. I am just rolling really well. A +6 and I rolled one. Oh, 7. Okay, so it's a 13.
So on a 13, you get a sense that the proprietor herself, she is a very worldly woman and may or may not be uh, having her pulse on what's going on, having her finger on the pulse of what's going on. And as you are getting that read, she takes the 10 gold coins, places it into a pouch on her belt, and she goes off into the storeroom and goes around a shelf and then returns with the two vials of health potions and hands them to you, Russ.
Why, thank you. I turn and I hand one to Kiri,
Thank you very much, Rust.
and then I'll hand the other one to my good friend.
My name is Eulalia Abrash. People tend to find it easier to call me Laya. You may if you do. You may do so if you choose.
Well, that is a mouthful, so Laya it will be. I am Rust.
Oh,
Thank you. I will. So it's a regular healing potion. I will put that in my inventory. Thank you.
No problem. And I turn and I look back at the shopkeep, and I say, do you get anything else? Worth of anything?
she smiles at you and says, "Everything on my shelf is worth something, my dear dwarf."
I look at the rest of the party, and I say, is there anything else that we need?
If no one else is interested, I would like to step up and just ask her general, like what I rolled the insight for to see if she's got vibes. Um, my lady, what knowledge do you have of the magical happenings in the city?
She looks at you and she says, "Well, my dear, it's not just the city itself. The entire land is crying. Something is coming, but I don't know what, and it scares me."
We say thank you, Dios Canvauer, and bow, and I think that's probably all that I can get from her.
So, is there anything else you would like to take a look at in this apothecary?
Not me.
Not me either.
Kiri is all good.
Rust will bow and start to walk out.
Alrighty then. Where would you guys like to go next? You do know from the map that the best route would be to take the eastern gate out of the city.
Would Thimble's general store have rations? If we're looking at a long walk, it might not be a bad idea to get more.
More than likely, Thimble's general goods would have various supplies for camping and things like that.
Or is there perhaps a livery where we could hire a horse? I'm happy to roll.
Yes, each gate does have a small stable where horses can be rented or purchased.
So I think my friends, would we want equine company or we would prefer staying on our feet?
I
If
think renting a horse is a great idea.
if you think this little guy's legs can keep up with you long-legged people, y'all are nuts. I'll take a horse.
What the fortitude of the dwarves is legendary, my friend. All right. Shall we head to a livery then?
Hi.
Aye,
All right. So then, upon leaving uh, the Black and Rose apothecary, you leave the alleyway, much to your relief, and you begin to head toward the eastern um, exit of the city. Doesn't take long to get there. Well, it's only a few minutes walk. The eastern gate itself is just as impressive as the main gate of the castle proper. You can see that the city itself also is surrounded by a massive fortified wall, 15 feet in height, and looks at least as thick. You can see soldiers once again patrolling the parapet. The stable at the eastern gate has a lone proprietor in a leather apron, simple man's clothes, breeches, and a smock, and he's applying a horseshoe to one of several horses within the stable. You can hear the loud clanging as the hammer is hammering the nails into the hoof of the horse. As you approach, he senses you and looks up. He's very, very young, couldn't be more than 15 years of age, but already is plying for a trade. He's got a messy mop of blonde hair and blue eyes. And when you approach, he says, "Good day. I have just hooved this horse. Are you here to buy a horse? Or are you here to rent a horse?"
ah, that depends on the price tag. Let's hear options of both.
"Well, you'll find no finer horses within the kingdom except for here. I have available for purchase or rent a total of 3 Mustangs. They will serve you well. To rent, it will be half a gold per day. But if you wish to buy, 20 gold pieces gets you everything.
What is included in everything?
Not only will you get the horse, my lady, but you'll also get the bridle and the saddle. And plus, I will offer half a year of shoeing just for free.
How much is feed?
Well, that depends on how much feed you're looking for. A full sack of a full 50-pound sack of feed is 1 gold.
Speaking practically, how much does a horse eat a day? So how long would the 50 pounds of feed last? I don't know.
Well, let's say a horse would probably go through, let's say, 5 pounds of feed a day.
Okay, so that's 10 days ish. Uh, my young master, do you perhaps have any wagons or other vehicles that we could rest in on occasion as well?
He scratches his head and says, "Well, I do have one wagon, but it's not in the best of repair." Um, and he gets up and lets the horse go back into the stable. And he comes up around towards you and then kind of leads you a little more off to the side of the stable on the northern side. And
Hmm.
parked there is a lone wagon. It's got uh, one wheel is 3/4 complete, so it's missing a good chunk of wheel, but it will roll. He assures you that it will get you to where you're going, but you might have to deal with the occasional bump every few seconds.
Can I roll an insight on him
Sure. What are you trying to determine?
if he's telling the truth? And I know it's not a lie detector, but if I can get a general read off his body language, if he looks shifty.
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight.
Okay. 19.
19. You get the sense that he's telling you the truth about the wagon itself,
Hmm.
but you also get the sense that you might be able to get him to repair the wheel.
My friend, uh, you would be doing us a great favor, actually, on behalf of the king himself, if you would perhaps prepare this wheel for us. Your name would be spoken to those in power, and you would be well rewarded.
And he looks at you and bows and says, Thalen's the name. I come from a long line of horse breeders. My father is still back at home on their farm.
Phelan,
But
I will remember this.
but if you would give a good word to the king, for we would love to be able to supply the army with our own horses that we breed, I'll be able to repair the wheel for you. But it'll take about an hour if you don't mind waiting.
I'll look to the gang. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, we can wait a little bit. Now, you said for all of this, it's only 20 gold, right?
Well, well, now 20 gold for a horse, my good sir. The wagon itself is 50. I know it's in bad repair, but I'm already giving you a discount on the wagon because of that.
Is that to rent or to buy?
That would be to buy, good lady. If you wanted to rent the wagon itself, it would be 1 gold a day.
So to rent the horse and the wagon would be. Give me just a second. I've forgotten, Jeremy. I'm sorry. How much is the horse to rent a day?
Shoot, I forgot what I told you. I figured you guys were going to buy them.
It's half a gold. I'm going to
Yes.
buy it.
Thank you. Um,
Rust will purchase a steed for himself, regardless what the rest of the party will do. His little legs, they get tired carrying all this gleaming armor. As you see, it just smokes.
Now keep in mind, I only have 3 horses here. If you don't mind waiting a few days, I can get in contact with my father and have more horses brought, but it'll still take a few days for him to bring them over.
We have been told that haste is of the utmost, so I think it comes down to whether we rent or we purchase the steeds and the wagon, and truly that comes down to the group.
Two horses should be able to pull the wagon, right?
One horse could pull the wagon if it's empty, my good sir. Two horses if you decide to laden it down. But if it's a choice of trying to rent or purchase, he says, I would recommend purchasing. For once when you have them, you will have them for all time, and you won't have to worry about coming back to me to give the rent.
Fury just walks forward and hands
A map?
over 40 gold for two horses.
You have a map? I don't have a map.
Thank you, good lady.
Rust will also put down 20 gold pieces for the other horse.
All right, so all three horses have been purchased. Do you plan on purchasing the wagon as well?
Yes.
All right,
You
so
s-
that'll be another 50 gold then total. So you're looking at a grand total of 110 gold pieces right there. And he says he will repair it so long as you put in a good word to the king. So that way, hopefully, he and his father can get a contract with the king to sorry about that, to supply the army with their horses.
Rust will hand over 70 gold pieces then. And he will definitely let the king know of this fine young man and his father's business.
So when he takes the gold, he bows to you and says, "The name is Thalen, good sir. Please remember it and spread it as far and wide as you can. In these dark times, business has not been good."
Rest assured, we will pass your name on and your father's name on. Thank you.
Excellent. So now you have three horses and you have a cart. More than enough to get you to where you're going. And it only took about a half an hour to an hour for him to repair the wheel. So now you don't have to even worry about the occasional thump.
I'd like to buy some feed before we forget. You said 150-pound bag of feed was 1 gold?
Correct.
Oh, 2 bags of feed?
No problem. He goes to the back of the stable and he's young but he's quite strapping and he lifts both bags up and he's got his arms around it and it's 100 pounds. He's able to do it, but he's kind of straining a little bit as he brings it over to the cart and with a he uh, drops it in with the back of the cart. The cart kind of uh, goes down a little bit with the weight, but then settles itself.
Um, okay. I am more than happy to drive the horses at the cart unless somebody else would rather. And honestly, that's fine. I just trying to anyone else comfortable driving.
I believe that we only need two horses to drive the carriage, so I'm going to ride alongside of it on a horse of my own.
Okay. We have 3 horses now.
Ah, that is what Rust was going to do. But I guess, milady, the lassie shall be able to ride beside him if she pleases.
Jeremy, mechanics question: is there room for 2 people on the seat of the cart, or is it just a 1 person?
Well, there's room enough for two people, and plus someone can sit in the back as well. There's plenty of room in the cart itself. It is quite
Okay.
large.
So we've all got either a horse or they can ride on the cart, so we're good. Okay.
Correct. And you can, the weight itself is still okay for one horse to pull the cart, but if you decide to start, loading up more supplies, I would probably recommend having two of the horses strapped to the cart.
Okay.
Rust is not good with directions. He will sit in the back.
That is fine, Russ. That is why I said that I would ride alongside, as I have the map and I can lead us there.
Thank you, End of the Wood. Do we need to procure any more food for ourselves before we leave?
Well, that depends. What type of packs did you guys all pick for your characters? Was it dungeoneering
Oh,
or anything like that?
I had a
I
choice between diplomat and entertainer, so I took entertainer. I've got 5 days of rations.
I've got
I could probably use some.
Yeah, because
I've
most
got
of those
10
packs do
rations.
have rations within them.
I grabbed the adventuring pack, so I've got 10.
I have 7 actually, so probably good.
And
I
besides,
have 10, so I'm okay also.
and I was
I
about to
have
say,
5.
besides, when you get to Ashenvale, you might be able to buy some supplies there for the trip home. And
True.
you do have an elf with you, correct?
Yes, you do.
Oh,
More than
well,
one.
elf would be an excellent forager too.
Indeed, I will be happy to do that along the way.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. And I will take the reins and follow Kiri on her horse, and the rest of you, I guess, can do what responsible adults do.
Alrighty. So you strap 2 horses to the cart, and Kiri is leading the way on her lone horse with the map, and you guys exit the eastern gate.